All right, everybody, welcome to the Boom Room, where the boom should be your pockets, right? So, new content, right? Back to back. I'm trying. Like, hopefully y'all appreciate it. So, follow me, continue following me on my journey, because when all this blow up, I want y'all to be here with me, and the purpose is so that you can see that it can be done. But in the meantime, I'm gonna be teaching y'all the tricks and giving the tips and working through it. Now, the most effective way for me to trade while recording, so I'm basically recording over a live stream, but I do it at the end of my day. So when I'm not end of my, well, yeah, it does end up turning out to be the end of the day. So after I'm done trading for the day, I'll start over essentially with the overage. If it works out for me, great. If it doesn't, I mean, you'll know because essentially, yeah, if my first trade doesn't work, then I'm out, right? But the key thing that I'm trying to get you to make sure you understand, and I mean to each his own, secure the profits. All right. So whatever your goal is, I mean, and it does change because as you keep climbing up and getting more and more money, it's hard to stop. But you got to take mental notes on what you're earning essentially as you are trading. And once you get to a certain threshold, you should change to another goal, right? So, um, I know I gave out like this little method of, following this until you get whatever for a certain time frame. I'm just gonna be honest, that's hard. I've tried it, and I mean I do it, but I'm just saying you end up going beyond five trades, especially when you really get into the flow of it, because it's really addicting. All right. But with that said, never lose focus. So you get $300 here, and you never just end up at 300. So you might get like 310, 320. Use that extra 20 as two extra attempts. $10. I don't care. $10 attempts. You get them, then you keep, then that 320 then turns to 350, then turns to 370, then to 400. So it is, man, like that's how it happens. Like people that be really doing this and killing it. I mean, sometimes they just use like higher numbers, entry numbers, but I mean, me, I'm Team Cheapo. I'm trying to like control what I'm putting up, and so I'm not being too irresponsible. So let's go through it. I'm just going to show you what I end up doing tonight, and I'm going to show you a new method that I actually started today, and I'm kind of in love with it. So it's still using the same because, like I said, I'm probably if I ever make changes, I'm not going to make drastic changes where I'm using different indicators because I like these and these work out for me. So still got the moving average, still got the MACD, and then the oscillator tool. Okay, but the difference is, and this is me just pointing to it. I now use the Heikin Ashi. All right. So the difference with Heikin, let me move this out the way so you can see it. And then I do the 1 minute time frame is what I'm trying to point at. All right, so there we go. So the difference between just using candlesticks and the Heikin Ashi, the candlesticks should line up right on the entry, right? So this horizontal line is the price point. And for those that are watching this in whatever order, just remember when you buy or sell, you buy and sell at this entry point for however long you desire to set here that it allows you to, right? So 5 seconds is the minimum for OTC. And I say that because everybody's probably not watching all my lengthy videos in order, right? So you buy, you're saying that this price point will be above this entry point for 5 seconds. And if it does, I get my return of 92% of $100, which is $92. If you click sell, same thing. It just means that this entry will be less than this line. And if it works out for you, you get $92. Okay, so you'll have a return of 192, but understand that that is the 100 that you put in plus the 92 extra dollars. All right, so you get $92, Richard, and I shouldn't say Richard, 95, $92 more in 5 seconds. Okay, or less if you choose wrong. So always keep that out there. So let me not get distracted because again, this is a 6 minute video that I am about to push to be 30. So sorry. So let me continue and I'm going to let this thing ride out and then I'm going to explain the process, whenever I do. So, and Friday nights are a little iffy here. So, normally I don't trade at night. So I've just been doing this for recording sake, but I I'm at my last, so I'm making sure I'm not tweaking on my overage, right? So I had to take a mental note because I shouldn't be putting up 100 if I just finished at my my last goal. So I'm just tweaking the numbers and what I did here. So I've been doing this double entry thing, and I did not mean to click this twice. I was trying to give you guys five good examples. So this one will not be five good examples, but just so that you know, you can click that button a couple times. You can click as many times as you want to, as long as you have the funds. Personally, I don't recommend anything over three. I've been doing two and three, so smaller numbers, obviously, because the way I look at it is, I mean, if I've been finding five entries at a minimum successfully, a day, and that's what I still have that same chart that you guys would have seen in one of those previous videos. Then if I'm getting two or three at a time, that number jumps up quite a bit, right? So, and really, this is a situation if you feel good about it, right? So let me go ahead and let this cash out real quick, and then I'll explain what's going on. Okay. So the Heikin Ashi, right? Can I zoom this in? Of course not. So let me, and I'm sorry, I was trying to I move this to this so it could be a little bit bigger, but of course, all right. So let me move this out the way so you guys can see. Let me get this number out the way real quick. Come on. Okay. So the Hakanashi is basically based on the average. It doesn't come in on a price point. So when you use where you saw me select candlesticks, if I had this as a candlestick, the entry would be where the candle is. So this green would actually be up here. Okay, so this green, I'm not going to keep these here, but these green, if you can see that as an arrow, but this green bar at the top would actually be right where this horizontal line is. Okay, and I'm gonna work on my arrows, guys. All right, bear with me. So the Hakanashi gives you the average. It's basically telling you like, hey, this is where all the buying pressure is, right? So when I enter, so there's a few methods. So I know I was giving you guys like the two bars over the yellow. I really haven't had to do that since adopting this style. So let me play it back some. And hopefully you guys don't mind me over explaining, but I feel like this is best for the world, right? So my entry, when I came into this, I'm not, so this is a large bar, right? And you have a lot of buying pressure. The Hakanashi helps you to understand, like it kind of quiets down that noise. So like generally speaking, when you're trading, you have buy pressure going up, you may have some sell pressure going down, then you got more buy pressure going up, right? So the Hakanashi generally is just giving you the what you want. It's giving you the actual pressure. It cleans it up a little. So as you can see, kind of in this area here, this is all ugly. We don't want anything to do with this, right? But further back, you have a lot of sell pressure. So here, a lot of sell pressure, and then here, a lot of buy pressure. So remember before when we was trading, I was doing a lot of, I mean, like I said, and do whatever method you want. I mean, that's the beauty of all this, but I don't know if you can do that. If you're going to go to my other methods, you probably want to go back to the candlestick method. All right. But to me, this has been more spot on because well, I mean, I don't have many examples that you guys are able to see on the public platform. Um, Privately, there's more material out there, but I was kind of entering in, not at the top of the candles when I was entering, but like when I saw like smaller wicks that showed me, hey, it's a potential that this can go up, and then I had that other support information. This really eliminates a lot of that for me because it's telling me exactly where the pressure is. So essentially, as long as this entry line that you see here, so the entry line is within the pressure zone. Okay, the pressure zone meaning the bar. I'm in there, right? Also, what I'm looking at is the size of the candle. So first thing I'm looking at, I'm going to give you this one, two, threes, right? The first thing I'm looking at is here, right? Um, and here is that horizontal line within that green bar. Secondly, I have strong pressure there, all right? So we got big, large candles moving upward. I'm not worried about the downward push because this is an average, so that doesn't mean reversal at this point, all right? Um, third, and I'm not necessarily using this, I guess, technically the correct way, but you have a crossover that shows green, and then I have large candles going upward that are green, right? So it's progressively getting bigger. Now, just so you know, with MACD, typically they advise you not to trade if the lines are over the zero. So I don't know if you can see that. Okay. But I do it. So it's up to you how you want to do it. If you want to stay too safe. Me personally, indicators are indicators. They help you out, but there's not any surety that, this is how it's going to work. Okay, so you got one, two, three, and then you guys know this one, four, right? We got the candles moving upward towards the 80, but they are not past the 80 and they're not curving out. All right, so that was my decision. Again, unfortunately, and I don't test my luck with my real money. I clicked it twice. Whatever, it happens. Don't judge me. And that's how I got the two wins real quick. So let me erase all this mess. We'll let it play out. And actually, the two clicks is a good idea because like I said, I tried it out today because I was seeing a lot of videos where people were doing like five, and I'm like, that's a lot to risk in one trade. That's kind of crazy. But if I'm up, I'll do it, right? So now I'm looking at another opportunity, right? So I'm going to get ready to pause. And all I'm looking for, well, a new candle just formed. So with this situation, as delightful I feel like there is to press that button, in this situation, I am looking at small, and you guys should get the gist of this by now. So we got small cell candles. Those cell candles are getting a little bit larger. The crossover is there, but it's just small. And then I'm also at the bottom of the 20, and it's not necessarily pointing downward. I mean, it is, but it's kind of looking like it's going to curve up. So I'm just kind of hesitant to jump in as what is going on. So trying to make a decision if it's worth it based on what I see. It just got done consolidating. So remember, when you have a area like this is consolidation here. Um, Now, in this situation, I would consider the wicks because, again, this Heikin Ashi is based on average. So you're not doing that thing where I was saying, hey, like you're looking at the top of the bar, you'll consider the wicks, but now you need to consider the wicks because you don't know really what the top of the bars are. Okay, so consolidating and it's coming out of a consolidation zone. Look like it's going to be in a sell. Before that, it was going upward. So I'm just trying to see, is it worth it? All right. And then obviously it's cutting back into a buy. So not feeling too good. I'll leave it alone. All right. So it's okay. It's always like you have so many assets that you can pick and choose from. It doesn't make sense to force something that is not there. So really that was a theme a lot this evening. Just took a little bit of time to find out what I needed. So I don't see anything that I like. I'll discuss this again, and this is just more so for practice with you guys. So downward momentum, right? As you can see. But what you should also see, and if you guys aren't seeing this, we got a buy crossover. Then you got big green candles on the sell end crossing over to the buy end. Now normally, like I said, I'll catch it both ways, but with this approach, I haven't had to. So normally, if we were following my other videos, you say, "Oh, well, look, I'll look to sell, or I'll look to buy." I'm sorry, and considering that this is also seem to be curving up, and just kind of keep an eye on it. This would be the part where I say, okay, where are the candles forming? But again, using this chart type, I can't do that because I don't know what the bars are looking like in reality. I just see on average, I have what's this? One, two, three, four candle or five candles, I'm sorry, that are pretty much stagnant. So this two red and three green are really telling me that there's not much movement. So why risk it, right? You don't have to because there's several others that are yielding over 92% that I can get into. So that's why I got out of that one. All right. Now looking at this one, as you can see, clear buy pressure, but man, I'm moving fast. Sorry. Clear buy pressure. Sorry. So clear buy pressure. And this is like you guys know I don't edit these. Like I'm doing all this in real time, right? But clear buy pressure, the thing that everybody should respect is that these are very small candles. All of these are extremely tiny except for these right here. Okay. So I don't like it. All right. And there's no crossover opportunity that I see. If it was like going downward again and then climbing up at some point, then I would get into a buy, but I'm not risking to sell with this little movement and I'm not risking to buy with this little movement. So I'm staying out of it. And as you can see, the crossover is back here, and then we got just one red there. And so it's just kind of all over the place. And we're at the top and it's sideways. So it's not a good move. So hopefully you guys are appreciating that I can go over good moves and bad moves and not just show you successful trades. So next pair, let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so now look at me. I'm thirsty. Now, I think this is the one where I clicked it and it didn't click all the way or something. Or maybe that was the next. Yeah, this wasn't that one. Sorry. So I tried to click, you'll see, but I tried to click earlier than I did before. My fingers, sometimes the fingers get a little bit slippery. Get a little bit slippery when you're doing good, right? So anyway, let me stop messing around. Um, so let me go back into this here, and I'll just tell you what I see because everything has. Sorry, my stuff is blocking me. All right, so first and foremost, this is the beauty right here. Straight buy pressure. You got large candles. All right, all right. So I guess technically speaking, this is one good thing I like. I know I'm in a definite buy. Number two, what did we say? Number two or number two and number one interchangeably? We have the entry within our average. Okay. Remember, the bar part shows mostly the pressure, right? So you don't want to wait till it gets to the bottom. You don't want it all at the top. The pressure, I'm sorry, if it's never be at the top. You want to get involved in this when your entry line is somewhere near the top. If it's halfway, just know that that's kind of risky because at that point it could be reversing. You want to catch it at somewhere in this area. Okay. So again, the minute time frame allows you time to like really get involved in it. So please use minute. I tried the 30 seconds. It's not the same. So the minute is the one that's been working for me. But anyway, large upward candles. It's okay that the wicks are downward pointing or at the top. Okay, that doesn't mean reversal. That is not looked at the same with this because it's an average. And then you have your entry within that average bar. Okay. I don't know if I have any sell opportunities because I've been literally clicking buy for the majority of the day. So I don't think I have any to show you, but just visualize this. If it's a sell, it's the same way the other way around. Okay. So at the bottom of the red, you would have an entry line, moving around such as this. You would have wicks going above, and that lets you know, like, hey, there's a lot of area for opportunity to go up, or at least it's enough for me to make it in 5 seconds or not. And then you get in there, but you can't hesitate with this stuff. All right, so that's one, two, three. You know what we do here. All right. So again, not using it the correct way, but I've never did it that way anyway. I look at it more so to see growing candles, and I have crossover. So all my method is about is catching the crossover. And then number four, we are beyond the 80. It's starting to curve, but it's still pointing upward enough that I feel good about, right? So if it was to curve, if it was to do like one of these numbers, I'm sorry, that's not even a curve, that's just a line. If it was to do one of these numbers, then I would feel a little bit hesitant, but it's not all the way there yet, guys. So that is our entry. And like I said, I've been trying to do this double up thing just to see about getting rid of my day a little bit faster and making these videos a little bit faster. So I'm 20 minutes in, no judgment, guys. It's gonna be less time than the last one, but you guys better appreciate it because I love to talk. Just trying to help. So you keep your own tallies. I'm not doing that because that's not what it's about. If that part is important to you. Trying to see if there's any more opportunity to jump in here. So you see how, let me show you. So you see how this just dropped down to the halfway point, right? So ideally, oh, that's perfect, right? But no, it's still a little risky at this point. So I'm trying to justify if I should get back in here or not. I'm not feeling too good about it, and I'm already up. So I am considering changing my amount. So let's just see what happens. So now we're at the bottom. As you can see, it's teetering. It's almost by that yellow moving average. Um, the oscillator is now starting to go sideways, right? And we're out of there, right? No overstaying our welcome. Now this is an ugly one. Oh, and I just moved on that one quickly. Goodness. I could discuss all these, I guess, if you want me to, but I feel like I wouldn't be keeping my promise, right? So here, I think I looked at this one already, but there's nothing. Yeah, this is one we already looked at. This is the one where consolidating, and then it was, I think it was like in this area before, but now it's going back into the consolidation. So easy move, stay out of it, right? And then also, as you can see, that entry here is well above the pressure. So why play with fire unless you want to get burned? I'm deep, real deep. Y'all should be proud. Oh, jumped out of that one too, real quick. Goodness. So I'll be moving through these things fast, but that's what I'm saying. You got to find your opportunities. So that's why I don't mess around with it. So I'm gonna go over these with you so you can just see for your own self, right? Um, so first off, it's snaking around at the floor, right? It's being a little snake slithering around at the 20. Stay out of it. Crossover, but we got weak candles and you got a bunch of consolidation here and you got consolidation here and then you got small candles. So all this is telling me I'm very neutral. I'm on the fence. I don't know what I want to do. It's not ready to commit. So keep it moving. Boom. Same example as before. I don't have to explain it. Small candles going upward, and then it's doing the snake thing at the top. So, hmm. So opportunity. So I think this is the one. So I try not to go. So before I was like going in and out of a lot of these. Now I'm at the bottom, and I kind of went up just a little, but I'm waiting for an opportunity. Snaking around at the top. It is climbing up, but there's a red bar is what I'm showing you. And again, if you're judging it based on the zero, it's above the zero. So it's not a good one to jump into at this time. So go back, find something else. I got here, what I'm pointing out, goodness, I didn't fast. So here, I'm showing you that there is a ceiling. Ooh, y'all like that straight line. Trying to tell you I was in art. I just messed it up talking mess. All right. So you got a ceiling approaching, right? That's what I'm showing you. Um, take that off. So we got a ceiling approaching. Possibly some space to go, but is there another opportunity? Probably yes. So, just looking for something a little bit better. I'll finish explaining this one. Um, We got crossover into buy, but candles are still looking a little weak. Okay. And then we're teetering around the 80. So it's not a bad move if I was to get into this, but again, this is the main line that I'm looking at. I want this line to be within this zone and near the top end. And then I'm considering, this pressure here. Okay. So I don't have a lot of wiggle room. So I'm just, instead of bombing and throwing away money, I'm just trying to see if there's another option. Okay. And I'm moving fast through these. So, go ahead and click. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to go back so I can explain it. Okay, here we go. So, this is actually one that I could have got into. Again, the entry is above the pressure. I would have no problem getting involved in this one. I know at the oscillator showing, is leveling out, but I'm just looking, since I'm at the end here, I'm just looking for, a sure thing. So this would be one that I would really sit and wait to see. You saw this one already. I'm just coming back to it. There's nothing there. This is the other one that you saw, nothing there. Man, I'm going through these fast. So this is the other one, again, where it was consolidating in the middle, and it's just still in that zone. So I'm going through the same ones. I guess I'll show my, so it's the same thing, barely any movement. So at this point, I'm getting a little antsy because I'm like, dude, I just need like, I think one or two more. So now I'm looking up other currency pairs because I've exhausted the ones that I have. So you see all those up. So if you're new to this, if you click on your asset here, you go, I generally do currencies and cryptocurrencies. But stocks also, you can find some 92% yields. Um, I haven't looked into, yeah, no, commodities, they don't have 92. I haven't seen, at least in the many times that I've searched. So yeah, so don't stack up the top too much. I was hoping that doing it this way would have been able to zoom in more on the actual action, but apparently that's not the case. So hopefully you guys can see this well. I'll continue to make adjustments as I keep doing this. Um, so just looking at new assets, looking for an opportunity here, showing that it's curving down. So what I'm showing you real quick, sorry, we got the curving downward motion. We got red showing that it's going downward, and then we get single candles. With my method, it's more so sticking with the trend, not going against it, since I'm not doing candlesticks anymore, and I'm basing it on that average. So I'm not going to waste my time. Yeah, I think I'm already in a new one. All right, so now we're going back downward, and I'm showing that the entry line is not within an average. So let me just see. I'm just trying to see if it's going to do anything. That MACD is not crossed over yet, so I'm out of it now. I'm back in it because I see something I like, right? So, I already clicked it. I'm sorry. I was going to say, do you see where you should enter? Right? But I think this is the one when it pressed it late or something. I was like clicking it. One of these, it made me mad. And I think I jumped right back into it because it tweaked on it. I think this was it. Yeah. So I lost one. Still a good trade. The problem is when you use these mouse pads, or not the mouse pads, I got like the little pad on the actual desktop, and my hand starts to slide over sometimes as I'm moving around all wild and willy-nilly, right? That second makes a difference, guys. It makes a big difference. So I stand by this decision, okay? Because you win some, you lose some. It's not going to be perfect, right? That's a lot of movement. If anything, I'm just kind of jumping into this thing late. But at the end of the day, I'm trying to show y'all something and give it to you here. We got big candles and lots of jump for buy. This was the indication of a pullback here because it's snaking out at the top, right? So, but at the end of the day, stand by that decision. I'm not, I mean, it's a part of the game, right? You win some, you lose some. That's why you control what you put up, right? So, um, If you pay attention, you see that dot, you see where it stops, it drops back down. So this would not be a part to enter back in immediately. All right, so I'm just looking to see what it's gonna do. Now I'm like, oh, let me change my mount some, because just in case now I got a big a red candle. So now I'm like, oh, that stinks, right? So whenever you lose one, try not to get in the habit of entering what you just lost, because then you lose two times because you're making an emotional decision. So control the win, right? Or control your losses by scaling down some if you have wiggle room. And also, I mean, you're keeping a note. You got to keep a note on what you're earning. Otherwise, you'll kind of lose track of it, in the mix over here. Um, so I'm just looking for other stuff. This is the one that was trash. You saw that. This is good downward motion, pointing downward. And it is at the top, as you can see. So it's at the top of the red. So I guess this is a good example not to do it. So I don't have one of me doing it, but this is why I would not do it. That entry is at the top of the red. So the pressure is pushing downward. So I would ideally want it in this area, a little bit above that. I'm sorry, my lines are terrible. Okay. So just remember that. And it's again that oscillator at the bottom saying that this is signs for reversal because it's like snaking around at the bottom. So why not? Right? Why not? Why not click that button and lose that money, right? I'm just playing. Don't do it. See, it could have worked. No, it wouldn't have worked out. That was past 5 seconds. All right, so where are we at? So I think my last one, yeah, I lost. It sticks with you. The losses stick with you. So you guys see this, like you get the gist of it. I mean, yeah, this is snaking out at the top, but I got a lot of strong movement and I'm actually within a zone. So I'm just trying to make a consideration, see if it's worth it. And now it's going towards the bottom, so I stay off, right? Last minute decisions. Um, so as much as you remember, we normally would follow that method. I guess you could still follow that method because you can, I guess if visually, if you're able to imagine that the bar. No, don't do it. Don't even do it. Never mind, because I can't even visualize it now that I think about it. And this is referring to the last video and that method. If you guys are following all of my stuff and not just like staying what was new, um, yeah, just never mind. I'll stay out of that one. Um, so now that it's going the other way, I'm trying to see if there's a buy opportunity. Is what I'm looking for. If it's going to switch over into a buy. And normally this is a sign of desperation. This is normally the time where you just keep going. But for video's sake, you want to you want to find something and just to show you guys, hey, this can be done and get it over with. Uh, essentially, this one, we're at the top of the 80. We got weak candles above. That's why I got this. And then as you can see, that MACD was turning red. So this one, jumped in quick because I had to, because right there. And honestly, I pressed that button. Look, let me tell y'all something. I pressed that button. I'm gonna tell you where I pressed the button because this one made me nervous because when I pressed the button, it skipped up. I pressed the button right here. All right, you see this? Wherever it says 470, this is where I clicked that button twice. And for some sake, because everybody was against me today, it's Friday, why not, right? Um, it's going to activate a little bit over that, right? So they tried to get me, but it worked. I mean, it didn't work. Is what I'm trying to say. So essentially, what I did was lost it, got it back ish, because it's not, obviously, well, yeah, it's not dollar for dollar. It's based on 92% return. And because I think I left after this because I was tired. Felt like I showed enough, right? And I'm pulling up on 34 minutes, so you guys should be happy that this didn't take 40 minutes, and it should have been very informative, right? So jumped in this one. I told you this was the first reason, all right. Second, Lastly, I have Doji. All right, Doji sign of a reversal. One. Another sign of a reversal because there was a reversal there, right? So you got to look at these things. So it's not a lot to follow, but like once you got it, you got it. Okay, and hopefully if you're watching these videos, I try to break all this down because those are a good sign of a reversal. I mean, you can see them. Like boom. Okay. Another one. So doji is the wicks both ways, and then oh my goodness, there's a wick both there. Let me do it down here. So there's a it looks like this. It could be straight. It could look like this. It could be a small bar. Okay, so these are pretty much all dojis, and it's just a sign of everybody breaking even. Again, remember, I visualize these candles as people at the top jumping and someone at the bottom pushing it up. And everybody's trying to win for space. You know, they smushed at the top, so they're jumping down on it. People smushed at the bottom, so they're lifting it up with all their might. And that doji, they're both in the middle and they just like resting. Like, look, we need a break, right? So it's a sign of a reversal. Okay. So let me not mess up all the screens for you. So first, again, we got the entry within, because this is where I actually press the button. But we got an entry between or within that the bar. Okay. Um, this one is a little bit more risky, only because there's something here selling this, but the only reason I felt a little bit good is because there's more room to grow. All right. So let me stay out of this, but find it or just live by another day and find another one. But with these opportunities, man, like it's more instinct than anything. Like you got to press it, you got to be confident. So that's my one. Okay, that's the one, the entry. The two was the clear sign of doji. Three, I have large candles. Four, early crossover. Five, high movement up. So I had a lot that I looked at to make this very quick decision. I know that in that time it was not going to be a vast jump, but I knew I had enough space for it to make it work, right? So that's how you have to be if you're going to do this and be successful. No hesitation. Live and die by the results, friends. So until next time, and always, man, make sure y'all like and subscribe. If you haven't, share it. Other people can use this stuff. Again, I'm not charging for any of this, and I'm honestly not even interested in that. I mean, I just want to help people. So help me, help you, help others. All right. And appreciate you guys. And until next time, I was gonna say samurai. No, I don't want that. I'm just messing with you for those who be following people. I ain't gonna say no names. I don't want no trouble. But anyway, all right. See you guys. Take care.